Ryan says, this stream is brought to you by Savage Sex Robots. Tired of hanging out by yourself at home? Buy one of our patented Savage Friends to fill the void. Visit mysavagedogs.robot.com now to receive 10% off your first order. Holy shit,
Yeah.
dude.
That's the world that we're trying to build right now. It's all building towards that.
That's
We're
the-
having complaints about the friction on the robots, but you wanted to fuck a robot in the first place, so I mean,
You kind of have to deal with what you get if you're signing up to fuck a robot.
you're not asking for a doll. You're not asking for a semi-human. You're asking for a robot. So it's like, yeah, it's metal.
Yeah. A
You're gonna
sex
get
doll
bruised.
can't twerk, dude. It's not like they have much of a choice. It's like, oh well, don't be on Twitter if you don't wanna be censored or whatever. And it's like, dude, I don't have a choice. A plastic sex doll will not twerk on me. So like, it's the it's the public square, dude.
Oh my god.
That's just my thoughts, anyways. But you know, nothing. Everything can be fixed with a little bit of lubricant.
I agree. Most things.
Most things, yeah, I guess that's true.
I can think of a couple things that don't probably won't.
Like what?
If your marriage is going down.
Lubricant can fix that.
Probably.
Yeah, what else?
Interesting. Let's apply it to things that we think it's not gonna fix.
Yeah.
What if you lose a loved one in an accident?
Yeah, that one might be a little tougher. You got me there, Savage. You got me there. Damn. Oh, you know, one thing I did want to ask you, dude, is what is your So I asked Malvita this the other day, and I think people really, people really appreciated the little insight into what her process was. How do you make your Savage dogs? Like, what program do you use? Do you start out sketching? What's your workflow?
Yeah, sure. It's not always the same, but yeah, probably usually the same. I start with the iPad Pro. I sketch to a point where I'm like, here's the thing. I'm not an artist. I'm a designer, so I can draw to a certain point, and then I need to go into design mode.
Mm-hmm.
So I end up designing things. I never it's hard for me to make a painting I do it, but it's like I have an impulse to design it. That means to tweak it, morph it, move it, instead of just painting the entire process.
At a certain point, you want to move this part to the other side of the canvas.
Yes.
That's what I get to. I'll do something. I'll be like, no, this needs to be here. And then I'll start moving things around.
Yeah. That's why it feels so unfair to consider yourself an artist, because it's like a true artist or painter will just think of the composition and just start building towards that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just all over the place. I do a drawing, I move it, I tweak it, I rotate it. So it's a little bit unfair to consider myself an artist. But I do the iPad thing, and then I move into Figma. And it's been like a year now that I've been everything illustration related in Figma. It has its limitations.
Yeah.
For example, when I animate stuff, I go from Illustrator to After Effects pretty seamlessly, because there's a plugin called Overlord where you just send stuff back and forth. And I used to use that, and it was super easy. But I'm so done with Adobe and how it crashes and it doesn't work, that I started using Figma. It auto-saves, it works perfectly. Gradients don't have banding, like they have in Illustrator.
They don't?
No,
How did they get away with that?
I have no idea, but they work way better, way better.
I might have to try that then. I really like Illustrator, but no banding sounds sick. That sounds really nice.
And that's not even the best part. So beyond the aspect that you don't need to think about saving your work, there's something huge about Figma. When you create an object, you can add all the colors and effects that you want to the same object. So I create a shape of a head.
Mm-hmm.
I can add drop shadows. I can add multiple colors in different modes. I can add gradients, all on the same object. So if I want to do the same in Illustrator, I need to duplicate that object
Right.
for the amount of things that I want to add on top.
So there's like layers within each object that you can stack.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's
you can
cool.
stack. You can stack a bunch of things. We can actually make something where I show you one of my files at some point, because I think it's really interesting to see how.
Dude, that would be awesome.
You can group and mask and like build super complex things in just a single shape.
Do you have something you can pop open for us now?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let me see.
In the meantime, Ryan says, this stream is brought to you by our newest Savage Sex Robots 2.0, the twerking edition. Tired of your savage friend not twerking? Update your original sex robot today at mysavagedogs.twerk.com to get your groove on.
Oh my god.
Use code Lemon Party.
Okay, I think I have something interesting here.
Good.
How can I share this?
Should be a share screen button on Discord, and then I'll have to figure out how to capture it on my end.
Okay. Screens.
Thanks for those messages, Ryan. It almost makes up for the fact that you cheer one bit at a time.
Don't share it just yet, because I need to see if I'm sharing the right screen.
Ryan, cheer $1 at a time, because Twitch doesn't take 800% of that, and you can write a message with it, and it makes the money printer go burr.
Okay.
I know you've got $1 at a time too. Fucking Scrooge, dude. Ryan never helps me. He's probably the most selfish person that I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, he did it again. He's taunting me now. 1 bit. How much is 1 bit worth? Here, Twitch. 1 bit money. What is this worth? 1 cent. 1 US cent. You're flicking pennies at me, dude.
Sorry, I just had to restart Discord.
It's alright. Oh, whatever, Ryan. Just flicking a literal penny. Sempi now. This is the worst fucking meme of all time. Not only do I not make any money, but it's annoying. Maybe I'll turn off notifications just to spite you guys.
Do you see my screen share?
No? Yeah, now I do. It's a lady dog licking a bowl. This piece is awesome, by the way. This was one of your earlier things, right?
Yeah. So this is a vector piece, and this is how the guts look like. And let me show you.
Wait, I thought this was a digital painting. This is like in shapes?
Yeah, these are all shapes.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. So it's vector, and you can stretch it and make it as big as you want.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's crazy.
So let me see if I
can change this.
So if I take the head, for example, the head is just a mask. And
hold on.
Like,
hold on 1 sec. I'm trying to fix this. What is this? I don't even see what this... Sorry, I'm trying to get it so people can see what you're pointing at. Okay. There we go. Go for it.
I'm closing possible legal implications from the tabs. Okay. So, like if you see the head, you can see that this is a group. There's a clipping mask on the bottom that it's action on the entire group.
Yeah.
So limiting what's going outside. And then this is the head, for example. This is the actual head, this layer, vector 39. I'm gonna call it head. And this is mask. So if you check the layer here and you see the details on the right panel, you can see that this head has a base color, it has a gradient, and another gradient on top. These three elements you see on the right, do you see that one that says in the fill options?
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay, so let me just show you if I take this object right here.
Okay.
This is the head, and it has 1, 2, 3 aspects, right? So
Okay.
the first one is the color base for the head. The second one is a gradient of the shadow
Okay.
of the head, and the third one is a reflection of the light of the floor.
Okay.
And that it's all encapsulated into this singular shape.
That's cool.
That's pretty insane that you can pile up all those effects.
That
So then
is
what
insane.
I do is I use very basic things. I use gradients and blurs.
Okay.
So you can see this shape right here that is giving this nice cool shadow on the face.
Yeah.
It's actually just a gradient with a layer blur. If I turn off the layer blur, you can see what the shape actually looks like.
Nice. Okay. And
Right?
wait, where's the layer blur? Do you,
The layer
do you
blur
just like
is
click an
is an-
FX button?
yeah, you can add fills and effects. So let me show you. Look at the right side panel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I have this box, and it's a fill color. I can change that, and I can say I want to add a gradient on top of here that it's blue. You can change the transparency, anything that
Can you
want
change
from
the
there.
blend mode of that color?
Yes.
Nice.
You can go here and say I want this to be darkened.
Oh, nice.
And I want this to be a linear gradient.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna make that linear gradient, and I'm gonna put it in the position that I want. And then I can go and add a stroke. I can add effects. So I can say I want to do a drop shadow for this. And
yeah,
the other thing that's interesting, you can actually create a background blur for the object that it's behind. So if I go down in opacity like 90% here, even less, it's gonna be more visible, like 70. You see the object in the background being a blur.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So there's a lot of little cute things that you can do with that simple list of effects.
Mm-hmm.
It fills, gradients, and blurs, and that's all it takes to kind of like go in and build anything, actually.
Yeah. Wow.
This all blur shapes with gradients to emulate light. Like if I take this out, I take the blur, and I take the linear gradient and I turn it into a shape. That's the drawing.
Wow, dude, that's really crazy.
Pretty insane.
That's really crazy, and this being a vector artwork is crazy, or that's insane.
And also practical, right?
Yeah.
Because you can just you can do anything, and you don't need to worry about the size, because it's like can be the size that you want.
Yeah. That's
I have a
awesome.
thing around like older pieces that are not Savage Dog related but interesting. Let me show you.
That's crazy, man.